Hi guys, it's Rani from Rana Hills Physiotherapy here. Today we're going over working from home. So I've seen a lot of people recently talking about neck pain, shoulder pain, upper back pain because they're working from home. So I've got 4 little tips that I think is going to make it a little bit better on the body, so hopefully you don't get any sort of little niggles or aggravations, or at least hopefully if you do get some, it should at least help them a little bit. So the first thing I wanted to talk about is the incidental exercise that I think people just aren't getting as much if they're working from home. So that could be the fact that you are commuting by train, you are driving. It's that activity in the morning of getting ready to go or going somewhere that gets the body moving and warmed up. I feel like it's something that's just really missing when you're working from home. So ways you can change that up is get up 10 minutes earlier and go for a bit of a walk. Okay, you can do a bit of a stretching program at home, or even just, trying to get up and move around the house as you normally would for a bit of a longer time before you go and get yourself set up at the desk. Okay, second thing, we're talking about our desk setup. So I just grabbed some stuff that I've got out the back. Obviously it's not going to be the best setup for me, but one thing I find is really important is the height of the desk or the table that you're working on. Mine is relatively low. Now I'm pretty lucky. My chair lets me lower it down. So obviously at the moment it's too high. I'd have to lower myself in, come nice and close so that way my hands are resting relatively straight on the desk. You don't want to sort of be leaning down or looking down towards your screen or whatever computer that you're working on. So even at this height, the laptop itself is actually a little bit too low. So using a book or something that you've got at home, sort of prop it up a little bit, will actually make it a little bit nicer on the neck, so that way we're not having to slouch to look down or to type as well. It's better off if you've got the screen that you can have a little bit lifted, and say I had a longer desk here, to bring my keyboard further back this way so that I'm resting back into my chair and relaxed. That would be the best case scenario. I'm sure most people at home don't have the best setup, but at least that should help to change things around a little bit. So make sure your desk height isn't too low or too high, or get a chair that fits in really well so that way you're sitting relaxed with your hands resting on the desk. Making sure that screen isn't too high, so that way you're looking just slightly down and towards it, and making sure that we're not leaning forward all the time to type, but that you can relax back onto it. Makes a big difference. The third thing I wanted to talk about, I've got some stretches. Now I know stretches aren't the most fun thing to do, but if you're sitting in this position for a long period, your body gets really stiff, and that's when pain can often occur. So we get really stiff when we try and move or get up out of that position. Often we've been there for too long and it's really, really uncomfortable. So if we can try and break up that movement throughout the day, often it can just make it that we're not as sore, or hopefully stop yourself from being sore in the afternoon. So getting up from your desk is one of the best things to do. So another thing I found working from home, people aren't going to the printer. They're not having to walk far to the bathroom or go downstairs for lunch or that sort of thing. So make sure you're taking time throughout the day to get up, have a bit of a walk, move into a different spot, so that way we're not sitting for a good 8 to 10 hours per day. The other stretch that I really like that you can do at your desk, say you're really, really busy, there's a couple of sitting ones I really like. First one is just a simple little curl. So pretend like you're shrugging, you're going all the way down towards the floor, and then sitting up nice and tall. It's just getting our back to move again, so that way we're not stuck in that sitting position the whole entire day. I'd probably recommend doing about 15 of those and aim for every hour or 2. Do it nice and regularly. The second one I like is similar to that one. You can just do gentle sort of twisting activities. And again, it's just about getting your spine to move so that way we're not as rigid, and therefore hopefully not as sore by the end of the day. Hopefully that if you add those into your work days, it'll make it a little bit more bearable for you. But I do have a 4th tip. I've got some exercises coming your way, and we'll flip over to that just now. All right, let's talk about those exercises. I've got 2 exercises that I find work really, really well to help build up your postural strength muscles. So in particular, those muscles into the back of the neck and in between the shoulder blades. So I've got a little bit of band here. Most people have something at home that they can use. Otherwise, if you've seen us before, we know, we've got plenty of it. So feel free to pop on in, we can give you some. I've got it wrapped around a little bit of a pole. I'm just gonna hold it in one side in each hand. If you don't have a pole, tie a knot in the middle of it, pop it in a doorway, pull the door closed, and then I'll hold it in place ready for you. The first exercise we're going to do is called a T-row. So again, we're working those muscles in the back of the shoulder. We're going to make sure that we've got our nice posture first. So we're standing nice and tall. We're making sure that we're not slouched over, and our shoulder blades are gently drawn back in together before we start. I'm holding onto the band, my arms are out straight, and I'm trying to keep those arms straight as I pull them out wide. And again, we're going nice and slow, so it takes a couple of seconds to get out and a couple of seconds to come back in. For this one, make sure when we go back that we're not going past the shoulders. It can just be a little bit uncomfortable. So pulling, slowly relaxing back, okay? Exercise number 2 is a very similar exercise. It works the neck a little bit harder than that T row, and it's called the W row. We start with the palms facing down this time, and we're gonna pull up and backwards to twist through the arms as we come back, and we're gonna slowly come forwards. So we'll twist up and back, squeeze those shoulder blades together, and slowly bring them back forward. So for these exercises, I'd probably aim for somewhere between 8 to 10 repetitions of those and do a couple of rounds. It should only take you about 5 minutes. Really, really good way to build up some of that strength and tolerance in those muscles in the back of the shoulder, which again, should hopefully make sitting a little bit more comfortable for you. Hope that helped you, and I'll see you around next time. Bye.